Hello and welcome to PK Woodworking again, and this is my attempt at a floating cabinet to take care of some last bit hanging chads, if you were, around the workshop. And if you've noticed over time, I've had this little stack of screw holders from Milwaukee that I moved around over and over and over again. And so I made a decision. I needed to get some drawers for my Tormek and for some other stuff on the end of that, the miter station. And I decided to take, Fast Cap up on the offer that they'll support a ton of weight. So I assumed this cabinet was going to be pretty heavy. I mean, the screws alone in those boxes are probably 100 plus pounds, plus the carcass, and then whatever I stick in the top drawer. So my assumption was I got a couple of 100 pounds are going to be hanging off the side of this thing. So I just figured it was a great use of space. I was not going to be touching the ground. So it keeps my philosophy of making cleanup easy out here because, I'm the ultimate sweeper. And so here's me making a bunch of drawers, trying to get them blanked out here. But obviously you can see I've got an issue with focus again. Anyways, moving back my router table back to the back and then coming out to the front here again. You're going to get to see me rounding over all the corners of the drawers after I finish putting those all together. And then turning back around to working on this carcass. So I can tell you straight up now that having that router table makes things so much easier when it's precision. I never called this out, but it's got the Incra LS super fence mounted to it, which also helps with the precision of the fence part of it. And then I've got a miter fence that actually came with the person who sold me my shaper. Actually left that in the box, and it's been pretty good on this particular function on my router table. So anyways, really great addition to any shop is to have something that just makes things that go together easy. So again, I'm going to let this kind of go through me clamping all these drawers together and getting them all set up, and then we'll kind of move on to the carcass. It's surprising just how fast you can get a carcass to go together with some low angle pocket screws. This particular machine I can't say enough about. You can't get this machine anymore unless you find it on Craigslist or something, but it's got two routers in it. One does the slot on the bottom and one does the hole in the back. And it's really quick, really fast, amazing dust collection when you set it up the right way. Castle makes them now. I think the current version is a TSM22. Highly recommended. No, I'm not sponsored. And as you can see, when this poor shock I have here going on, the carcass actually goes together really fast. And I'm not doing anything exciting other than putting a bottom on it and some stretchers across the back. This is some old mahogany plywood I had lying around, and it just happened to be something I thought was going to match the color of the sapele in it pretty well, and it turned out that it did. So I'm putting a back on it. You'll notice the back didn't go all the way to the top because I had to account for those speed braces angles that came across. So anyways, I didn't get a snapshot of me mounting this, but this is mounted to the bottom of that cabinet with just a bunch of pocket screws. So this is 3/4 inch Baltic birch on the bottom of that countertop. So it's really sturdy. I think there's probably about 15 or 20 total pocket screws in there, but it's holding it up really well. And then I'm kind of trying to get together, making sure that these drawers are all going to fit well inside here. I put a face frame on it, and then I sanded it flat. And now I'm trying to figure out how these drawer slides will all go in. So you're going to see me just powering out some drawer slides here using the Milwaukee part storage as the template of height. I'm giving myself a little like 1/4 inch between each shelf as I go up. These Milwaukee part storage bins ended up being rather complicated to get my 6th one in. So you're going to see this at the end. I'm still going to be missing one at the bottom. I did finally find somebody who had one in stock and they shipped it to me. So I do have all 6 now. So in the videos you'll see later on, it'll look a little more complete than it does after I finish with this. So I get all of them installed. The bottom 6 drawers, they only have a small lip around them to hold the parts bins. The top ones are actually true drawers, so they'll fit stuff in them. And now I'm kind of going through resawing some sapele down to make some thinner drawer fronts than I normally would. I got them down to 3/8 of an inch, and then I could book match them and make them look kind of cool when they came across the front, that you'd see matching grain as you move from side to side. So this is me. I resawed them on the Laguna, and now I'm just sanding them flat. Then I'm going to put a small edge on them in my router lift on the edge of these, on the edge of my bench there, and then we'll get into the finish part of it. The finish for this is not an oil. I actually have some general finishes stuff that, again, left over from another project that I used for the miter station. So the miter station, I just wanted to make sure it all looked similar. So that's why I went with the same finish. You'll see I'll be brushing it on in a little bit. But this is, again, me putting a small detail on the front of each one of these drawer fronts. So it just looked a little more than just a square piece of wood. So anyways, should be getting to finishing in just a second here. Here we go. So again, this is really simple. General finishes, the reason I love it so much is because it dries so quickly. So at least in the climate here in SoCal. So you can put another coat on this, 15, 20 minutes after you have put the first coat on, and it's just really easy to work with. So for me, this is my go-to. I know I've been showing a whole lot of wipe-on stuff, but that's not me normally. I'm always out there with my HVLP gun spraying this general finishes stuff. I probably should have sprayed this whole project on this whole wall, but I just didn't want to, have to mask everything off and do all that fun stuff. So I put a couple of coats on, sanded them, put another coat on, and came out pretty smooth and nice. And there you can see kind of at the end, them all attached, went together really simple. And then you can see a couple of pictures in better resolution here of kind of what it looks like when it is all said and done. It pulls out, and then the lid stays up nice and stationary. So it works out really great for the storage. And again, easy for cleanup because it's not on the ground underneath it. And yeah, couldn't be happier with how it turned out. We'll see over time if it still hangs off of those speed braces.